ESPN 97.5, presented by Zara Jewelers.
KFNC 97.9 HD2, Mont Bellevue, Houston, a Cal media station.
The future lay out there in the bullpen.
The starters are out. Now it's time to head to the bullpen.
Squad, bullpen, now.
Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Go ahead, call the producers.
ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. Welcome into the bullpen on this most glorious day. Gentlemen, we've made it. Your life has meaning again. The Royal Rumble is here. I think I talked to mostly non-wrestling fans at the table. That's okay. Me and sports entertainment, Sean. This is a holy day for us. Cam and John may not join in on the festivities. That's all right.
I'm ready to rumble.
Oh, that didn't sound genuine at all, Cam.
Also, you're going to get sued for that.
Yeah, Michael Buffalo might want. You might want to have your lawyers ready.
He doesn't say I'm ready to rumble. He says, "Are you ready to rumble?"
Now you just said it. Okay. Yeah,
we can't dump that.
Sean and I just walked right into that.
He didn't say it like him, though, so isn't he okay?
Just say it, John.
Well, I'm not going to get in trouble. Go ahead. You do it.
John didn't fall for it. All right, Cam. Well, it's nice knowing you. You're about to be sued by Michael Buffalo.
Like getting all that money that I don't have to go to school.
In the show, we will have some. It is Royal Rumble Saturday. We're going to have some run-ins from some other hosts at the stations and and folks you might know with their Royal Rumble picks. I don't know exactly when they will happen, but they will be calling in and interjecting themselves into the program at some point. Along the way, we'll also talk Texans. Obviously, a lot going on there with their OC hire that I thought would have been wrapped up by now, but is dragging into next week. The Rockets have been on fire. The Astros are seemingly a mess with this situation of will he, won't he with Alex Bregman. And of course, in hour two, we will have Mount Rushmore +1. But let's start with the Texans. And if you want to join in the conversation, give us a call on the HR listen line 713-780-3776. And I guess I should mention, if you want to find us all on Twitter, I'm at SecBMX. Sean is at Sean A. Makes. Cam's at Question Cam, and Johnny behind the glasses at Third Johnny. So I'll start out just saying with this Texas OC thing, I give D'Amico Ryan some credit because I think it's really lost on us that a lot of situations that we across the NFL where you had a head coach who had a relationship with an OC, like they went back together in San Francisco. Bobby Sloan said when he came to Houston that he wouldn't have left San Francisco for anybody else but D'Amico Ryans. And they have 2 10-win, division-win seasons. There's not a lot of, I think, organizations and head coaches that would have had the, I guess, guts to fire their offensive coordinator who they had a relationship and they had a relationship with an OC.
I definitely, that's why, I don't know if we talked about this show, but I know throughout the station we were talking about it going into the playoffs. What does Bobby Sloan need to do to save his job, or does he even need to save his job? Under what circumstances would he get fired? And we all thought that it had been a terrible performance of him at first wild card game against the Titans that we talked about. This is a win. Can we stop living in the past, please? To the future.
But yeah. So
I kind of choked up there. I do think that they get a little bit of credit or some credit for actually making the move before they absolutely had to make the move and not going into it next year.
I can't remember who at the station said this, but I completely agree. Yeah, I mean, if it was wise, it was probably you. If it was dumb, it was probably I'm not going to go there. But I think the MO of this organization. As we've seen, I mean, how long did Gary Kubiak get before they fired him? How much mediocrity did Bill O'Brien go through and bad trades? And, they just kept running them out there. And this guy has a past relationship going back to another team with D'Amico, plus 2 10-win, division-win seasons, 2 seasons where they win playoff games, and they still fired him.
Yeah, no, there's only really 2, and this is mostly for head coaches.
Your call has been forwarded.
A lot of the staff is you have to be either bottom of the league in your side of the ball. You have to be the 30th ranked pass defense to get fired, or you have to be a head coach that goes 2-14 or 4-10 Well,
Ryan was 0-4 when they fired him mid-season, but yeah, John Capers had a 2-14 season when he got fired. Same with Kubiak.
Yeah, it has to absolutely
bottom out,
go all the way to the stud. So to view the team coming off of 2 10-win seasons, 2 division titles, and still fire the young up and coming believed to be up and coming back at the bottom. Offensive coordinator that you have previously, that is a different Texans organizational shift.
Cam, were you in favor of the firing? What did you think of the move overall?
I was in favor of it, and I wasn't surprised. I think we brought up a quote a couple weeks ago from Joe Mixon where he said that the window is 3 to 4 or 2 to 3 years. So
right.
You can tell that this team in the past has kind of dragged out. Obviously, not the last couple of years. In the past, it seems like they kind of dragged out firing people when it needed to be fired sooner. So props for them for just being our window's now. If you're not helping this team, you're out. So.
Yeah, they looked at as one person in the media will call him Booby Slowick and said, "Time is up, my time is now." The franchise is here, and I'm trying to sell it. So there's a lot of wrestling today. It can't be helped.
I was thinking about who would be so mature to call him Booby Slowick.
Well, it wasn't there a little bit of wasn't there a little bit of adversity between Stroud and Slowick?
Lance reported that on.
He dropped that bombshell
on Tuesday. Yeah, and I think the thing with him in not getting along with his OC at Ohio State had been out there. I know I'd heard Joel mentioned it before Lance's bombshell, but Lance dropped the bombshell that apparently in the pre-draft visit, I guess Bobby was trying to go over some things with CJ, and he would go over a concept, and CJ would yeah, we called it this at Ohio State, and apparently that happened one too many times, and Bobby lost it. I was well, it doesn't effing matter what you called at Ohio State. We called it this, and got up in his face. And CJ didn't back down and got up in his face, and they had to be separated.
And then afterwards, CJ's people were like, yeah, we met with the Texans. Texans probably not going to draft us.
I would almost 100% guarantee that, because apparently from what Lance has said, the next visit, like you said, they asked, hey, how'd it go? And he said, terrible. I'm not going to be drafted there. That's 100% the Colts, right? Because we know Lance's boys with Chris Ballard. That's got to be that he went and visited.
I don't know.
Not that matters to the overall story, but I'm thinking that's got to be the Colts that information comes from.
They drafted 4th that year.
Yeah, so he would have been, and Stroud would have had conversations with the Colts, and we know Lance has an inside track there. But yeah, look, it's certainly interesting. The drama is fascinating, but ultimately, it didn't seem like it kind of mattered because from the pre-draft visit to when the season started, obviously they would have had time to cool down. And I never saw anything on the sideline where they were ever up in each other's faces. You never heard any bickering through the media. They kept it very cordial, or just completely buried it and squashed it.
Well, and for CJ, outside of obviously we've seen him get emotional when it comes to his teammates, but for the most part, he keeps his composure on the sideline. So I would never expect to see CJ getting into it with Bobby in front of the cameras, but who knows what goes on when the cameras aren't on these guys. So.
And I again, this is just when the cameras are on them in front of a microphone. But in the Monday after the Chiefs loss, they asked CJ Stroud about consistency at play caller, and he said there's guys that their first 3 years in the league they have 3 different play callers. I couldn't imagine ever doing that. I would never want to do that. So he at least publicly got out there and supported or gave some defense for Bobby Slowick.
Yeah, absolutely. So who's next? The next Texans OC. Let's get into that part of the. Oh, really? We got a breaking news sounder, Sean Mapes. Now I've heard success. You just won a national championship at College Football 25, so you're taking that success at East Carolina, and you're going up to the pros,
moving up the ranks.
All right, you can pay for my for when I get fined.
No, you're on your own.
Oh, yeah, I don't have Michael Buffer.
Yeah, Texans OC doesn't pay defend yourself against Michael Buffer money. I'm sorry, man, you're out on your own. But the list of names they interviewed, I'm going to go through the names I think pretty much have no chance, and then we can get to who's actually in this. But some of the names they've interviewed, someone on their own staff, Texans senior offensive assistant Bill Lazor, no chance. Pew pew. Syracuse offensive coordinator Jeff Nixon, which I think is interesting. Syracuse offense was good this year, but I think I don't know. I think it's too big of a step up from the ACC to NFL, or at least after 1 year. Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback coach Thad Lewis hasn't called plays. He's down. I thought what was interesting with him was his connection to not Chad Kelly, to Chip Kelly, but we know now Chip Kelly's out, so that's not going to happen. Minnesota Vikings assistant offensive coordinator Grant Udinsky again has to call plays because Kevin O'Connell's the play caller there. And Commanders assistant head coach Brian Johnson, who was a play caller in Philadelphia, not this season, but the season before, the only season when the Eagles didn't get to the Super Bowl in the last 3 years and their offense sputtered and they went like 1-5 down the stretch. So,
but who's to say what the reason?
I think the connection is pretty obvious there. So I think those 5 names are out. And so is Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly's removed himself from consideration. I think what we're really looking at, because you look at the rest of that list, it's not that impressive, to be honest. There are some guys that I think are going to come up, like Jeff Nixon and Grant Udinsky. There's some interesting things there, but they're guys that I don't think are ready to be at this level. What this tells me is probably even before they fired Bobby Slowick, they already had their guy. And they're just kind of going through the process of, checking off all the boxes with the NFL rules as far as who they interview, and maybe getting a look at some guys they might want to bring onto this staff in a similar position, depending on who they hire. But I think it's down to either Gerard Johnson, who's been on the staff as a quarterback coach for the last 2 years, or Nick Caley, who is a Rams passing game coordinator and tight ends coach, but has connections to both Nick Caserio. He worked in New England. They went to the same college. And the Texans interviewed him for OC 2 years ago when they eventually hired Bobby Slowick. So I think it's down to one of those two guys. If it is one of those two guys, what are your overall thoughts on the process and what they landed on?
I can't decide who I would appreciate more on this team, but I feel like Johnson has such a connection with everybody, and
From Mumble,
yeah.
Went to A&M.
And I can't remember where I heard this or read this, but somebody was saying that with Aaron Glenn going to the Jets, it sounded like the Jets were interested in interviewing Gerard Johnson for the OC, but the only way that you're able to keep Gerard Johnson on the staff and interview him is by getting rid of Slowick. So my money is on Gerard Johnson over Nick Caley, but at this point, I think it's 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, at first, I do just want to appreciate that they have cast a wide net on this. That they have
maybe that's what this is, but
talk to a lot of people.
Most of this list is kind of eh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's like some great candidate out there though, like some candidate that would have knocked our socks off other than Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly was my top guy.
Yeah, but other than that, it's a lot of like, well, I don't know, never seen him call plays.
Yeah, there's a lot of these guys that haven't called plays.
Either never seen him call plays, or they're Brian Johnson and Bill Lazor, and we've seen him call plays.
Hard pass.
We've seen him call plays.
Like most of these guys, like my reaction would be either kind of meh to okay, we'll see how it goes. The exceptions to that would be Bill Lazor or Brian Johnson. If those were the guys that were hired, I would be mad. Like those would, I think, be objectively bad hires.
I think Jeff Nixon would be a bad hire. I mean,
it's risky. It would definitely be risky, but I mean, we saw what he did. I'm blanking on the Syracuse quarterback's name.
Kyle McCord
transferred from Ohio State. Syracuse, obviously not known as the football powerhouse, and they had a great offensive year. So I'm intrigued by him.
And he has coached in the NFL before.
Right.
He has some experience at this level. I actually think most of his experience is in the NFL, and he called plays for Syracuse this past season. I actually wouldn't mind him, and also just like the offensive shift. That's another thing.
It's kind of the worry about Gerard Johnson, isn't it? Like,
exactly, and with Caley to a certain extent, because
of the New England connection.
Yeah, New England and McVay, and then you're going from a Shanahan offense to a more McVay guy. It's just
I wouldn't mind Caley because at least it's not a rubber. Like I guess this is kind of why I have the concern with Gerard Johnson. I mean, I expect him to be his own man. Don't hear what I'm not saying. But I don't like the idea of taking someone from inside an office that was dysfunctional and then just promoting someone within that offense that was dysfunctional and making him the new play caller. Let's hope Gerard is his own man, does his own thing, and is not tied to the Bobby Slowick San Francisco style offense, because clearly that had some flaws, but it just has that feel. Like it's not a great look. Whereas Nick Caley, I know Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, it's not the most drastic differences in the world between the two styles of offenses, but I would still feel, I guess, a little more confident of trying new ideas.
He's an outside
yeah,
hire.
trying new ideas.
It sounds like this is like a similar comparison to what the Cowboys did, just promoting within.
I mean, kind of. I mean, that's Jerry Jones is a whole separate circus, and we'll get to that later in the show. And let's carry some of this conversation over. We're a little over for the break, so when we come back, we'll continue this offensive coordinator conversation as well. Get into maybe a reason for pessimism for the Houston Texans, and maybe a Royal Rumble run-in. We might have a call or two along the way between now and the end of the show, and of course, Mount Rushmore +1 in the 1:30 segment before we get out. All right, ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5, the Bullpen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back in, ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. This is the Bullpen. Brian McDonald, Sean Mapes, Cam Smith, and our man John Belmer behind the glass. Again, if you want to hit us up on anything right now we're talking about with the Texans, we'll get into the Astros and Rockets later, or if you want to give us your Royal Rumble pick, give us a call or a text on the HRMP listener line, 713-780-3776. So, we got a countdown. Is someone coming in? Who's it going to be? John, do you know who is? Sean, do you know who this is?
I don't know.
Wait, okay. Well, let's go right now to the HRMP listener line. Who do we have on?
Look in my eyes. What do you see? Brian, Sean, Cam, how are you guys, man?
Wait, who do we have on?
It's RJ.
RJ, welcome back to the show. Sean is surprised. He's flabbergasted over here. RJ, how's Jacksonville? How you doing, my man?
Oh man, it's a whirlwind to know that I'm back here in Jacksonville. I mean, it just feels like yesterday I was with you guys doing the Bullpen. I miss you guys, love you guys. You guys know that. I still bother you guys from time to time and check you guys out on Twitch all the time. I'm so proud of my boys, so proud of what the Bullpen's doing. How you guys been, man?
Well, we're good. I wish you were here and not Cam, but
that's really
good.
I kid. We would do a 4-person show. I kid. RJ, so tonight's the Royal Rumble, the most holy of days in the calendar of the pro wrestling community. What are your picks for tonight, sir?
My picks for the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, your men's winner, your women's winner, and who wins Cody or KO in the title,
Let's see.
the world title
so
match.
The pick for the men, I'm going to go with the guy whose intro music I sung. I'm going to go with CM Punk, although, Mr. McDonald, I will say my sleeper pick is going to be that of Randy Orton. I think, because he's 3 Royal Rumble wins away from the record. I don't think he's going to catch John Cena, but I think if he won the Royal Rumble, he would tie that of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He would.
So give me my sleeper choice, Randy Orton, but my winner is going to be that of CM Punk. For the women's side, I think she comes back tonight. WWE's favorite daughter,
Becky?
Charlotte Flair,
Charlotte, okay.
will be your women's winner of the Royal Rumble. I think people will boo. Maybe some people will cheer. Who knows? And in the Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens matchup, I say Cody wins, but Kevin Owens eliminates him from the Royal Rumble later on that night. So give me CM Punk, Charlotte Flair, and Cody Rhodes as our 3 winners.
It's just sports entertainment. Sean, would you like to break down the picks? What do you think? What do you think of RJ's selections?
I mean, you can't complain with any of the. They're well thought out, well reasoned.
See, RJ doesn't know how big of a sports entertainment fan Sean now is. He has upped his sports entertainment watching since you left, RJ.
Yes.
Thank you. RJ, can we get a Liam Cohen inspired Duval real quick? Just to honor.
All right, here we go. That's just for this freaking nerd. He's such a nerd, man. Oh my God, it made me cringe so hard when he did it. Oh, it's not gonna make me do it. Ah! Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Duval.
That was solid.
Thank you.
Was that Liam Cohen that we had on?
That
was sounded
Liam
like
Cohen.
Liam Cohen.
He embodied the spirit of the new Jacksonville Jags.
Let me tell you something, Sean. If the Jags beat, I'm not saying we are. If the Jags beat the Texans, oh my.
Okay.
God.
Hang up, John. Hang up on now. RJ's just talking nonsense.
Bye, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Get him out of here. What are you talking about? Jags going to beat the Texans. So yeah. Throw him over the top rope. Both feet hit the floor. He's eliminated. Take your ass back to the locker room.
Taking a step back. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
No. All right. We appreciate you joining us, RJ. Well, actually, quickly before we get out, I mean, I think I know what the answer is, but sometimes fan bases can talk themselves into something being good when it's objectively terrible. How is the fan base treating this Liam Cohen hire?
As of right now, a lot of people like it. It's different. He's the young guy. He's supposed to be the smart football mind. He took a guy like Baker Mayfield and turned him around to where he was able to get a head coaching job and make Baker Mayfield look like the quarterback that is a serviceable guy and that can get a contract from the Bucs or even from another team. Just with the job Liam's done in both the pass protection as well as the run game. So a lot of people thinking that it's going to help here with Trevor Lawrence and he's going to try to hire a young staff. So I'm not getting excited. Listen, we have a saying here in Texas called "Fool me once, shame on you." Fool me once, you can't get fooled again. So,
Thank you, W.
I'm going to hold off on, my excitement for Liam Cohen probably until training camp, and then I'll probably call the bullpen and say, we're going to kick your ass.
Okay. All right. For real, hang up on him now. We'll talk Jaguars. All right. Thank you, RJ.
Thank you,
we'll talk
RJ.
to you later.
Love you guys, man.
See you guys. Liam Cohen. I mean, we will hear from Liam Cohen later in the show. But I can't get behind the excitement there. I can't get. I don't.
If you can separate his
goofy,
how
goofy he looks,
the peak of his personality that we're able to get. Yeah, if you can separate that from his resume is fine. I have no
part of the problem
qualms.
Part of the problem there though is because that's been kind of the talking point is what RJ said. They're giving him credit for Baker, but Baker had been turned around the year before. I'm blanking on the guy's name.
Dave Canales.
Yes, Dave Canales. Who had hired or turned around Geno Smith, then went to Tampa, turned around Baker, and then got the Panthers job And second half of the year, turn around Bryce Young. I mean, Dave Canales is 3 for 3. I don't know why we're giving Liam Cohen credit for Baker.
I guess because
he kept it going. Maybe the numbers got even better than the year before, but he didn't really do the turnaround.
I think he was also the OC
in Kentucky with Will Levis.
He helped develop Will Levis. Got to give him credit for that. You got to. Don't look at how it ended up. But
okay. I was going to say how he developed in Kentucky. Yeah.
Stop the count.
The second he left Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, you really can't even look at his senior year. You have to you can't
junior year at Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean, he developed him enough that one Jeremy Branham fell in love with him.
He did.
So
he did.
You gotta give him credit for that. He was also the OC of the Rams when Baker was there.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, and joined halfway through the season. I think that's where they overlapped initially.
I didn't realize they'd had a run in because Baker wasn't with the Rams very long. So
no, he got
like
cut,
half a season.
He got cut by the Panthers and joined them
there like half. Yeah. I know the week 1 that he was there, he played like with 3 days. Like he got cut and played 3 days later for the Rams.
He showed up on Monday, played on Thursday.
Yeah, it was something insane. All right, so we got sidetracked there by our first Royal Rumble run-in, but I appreciate that visit from R.J. Saunders, former producer of John and Lance and a member here of the Bullpen. But let's quickly, before we have to hit another commercial break, we talked about in last segment that it kind of feels like it's down to Gerard Johnson or Nick Caley. Who do you guys prefer? How would you feel about those hires if indeed one of those two guys are the choice?
I mean, like I said before, I like Gerard Johnson. I mean, I get the concern of promoting within. I like Caley too, but I think Johnson just has too much chemistry, and CJ is his boy. I'm interested to see, like, are they going to include CJ in this hiring process? I know you can't always.
I don't want them to, because that feels like you're walking the line of what we kill when you hear things about how involved quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers get involved in kind of like picking the staff. I mean, I know I'm not in any way saying CJ is doing what Rodgers has done or what Deshaun Watson tried to do is before the stuff obviously came out with the massages where he was trying to pick the GM and then got hurt when he didn't have his choice. Like that, you're kind of walking a thin line of crossing over into that territory. So I check with CJ just to make sure he doesn't hate the guy. But other than that, I'm not letting him make the choice.
I get that, yeah. Well, I guess for me then I'm leaning Johnson.
Sean?
With the news or not news, but with the expectation that they're bringing Cole Popovich back to replace, or I guess promoting him.
Yeah, promoting from. Oh my God, another guy promoted from within. But yeah,
that's the tiebreaker. I agree with everything you said with Gerard Johnson. Like, I think he's a good coach. I think in a different circumstance, I'd want him to be the offensive coordinator. It's just that if you fire your O-line coach and your offensive coordinator and you promote from within on both positions, I don't love that. So give me Nick Caley.
Yeah, I lean Nick Caley too.
Just as like the
I just want some new ideas. That's really the main thing, especially since you're like Sean, you pointed out. Thank you for reminding me that they're promoting from within the offensive line coach as well. So, I mean, it feels like even despite firing your OC, you're kind of running it back if you promote Gerard Johnson to OC.
There is some, I don't know if it's full on reporting or just some noise that Popovich was actually like one of the guys in the building that was not down with how
Bobby?
No, the O-line coach. Strasser,
yeah.
He was like actually like butting heads with Strasser. So that's at least like in a funny way. That's good.
He was the dissenting voice
of an awful terribly coached O-line. So I'm not out on Popovich or Johnson individually, but bring them both and promoting them both, that's where you lose me.
All right, Charles, I see you on hold here. If you can hold with us for 3 minutes, we're going to take a break. We'll come back to you on the other side and just the conversation after that phone call, probably into the Rockets, who have had a rough loss, certainly the way it ended against Memphis, but have been certainly over on a tear since January starting, going back even really further than that. But Bullpen will be back in a couple of minutes. ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back into the Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Thank you for joining us. We've spent the most of the first two segments talking about the Texans' next OC hire, the decision-making there. Had a Royal Rumble run-in. I expect a few more before the show's over. But if you want to join us like caller Charles is joining us, give us a call or a text on the HRP listener line, 713-780-3776. So let's go right now to Charles on the HRP listener line. Wants to talk about the Jaguars' new head coach. Charles, what do you got for us?
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. I might have misspoke about the Jaguars head coach, but the Texans OC position. Okay. I don't know where we are as a fan base really going with that. It's kind of, I feel like this is what happens when you give like ungrateful people nice things. You know, like even though we did a bad job with the second year of Bobby Slowick, I feel like you should get some chance to rebound. You know, I get it. We get impatient, but just want to get you guys' thoughts on that. If you spoke on it, I might have missed it, but yeah, come on. What are we really talking about at this point?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, Charles. I think part of it is that it is a very whiplash effect of how the Texans have run things. And normally they give guys, a lot of runway. Some would even say too much runway. And this is the first time that they really operated like a cutthroat or cutthroat-ish organization with a coach. So yeah, I do understand that it is crazy to be like two-time division winner OC. See you later, dude. But
yeah,
you had to change something with how this offense performed. The offense, go all the way back to August, July. We're talking about this team is like the offense was going to drive this team's success, and how could they scrap together a good enough defense to be at the top of the AFC? And in reality, they were 100% flipped, and they're a defensive team that could only move the ball really in the first half and just enough to scrape by.
And that drop-off, I think, is the whole reason why he got fired. Like, I get Charles's reaction. Like, man, this guy was a hot head coach in Canada. Hell, he even got a head coaching interview with the Jets this year, despite the drop-off.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we were – and then not just us. I mean, this is a national media conversation as well, putting the Texans' offense and their wide receiver trio and C.J. Stroud and into like the top three of their position groups, or their Super Bowl odds overall. And to have that sort of drop off from year one to year two, it's just hard to look at Bobby Slowick and think, okay, can he get us to the next level when you reach the exact same level 2 years in a row? And beyond that, I think specifically what got him fired. And I get the idea that it feels overreactionary because you still won 10 games, you still won the division. You still want a playoff game. Shout out to Cam's Chargers. But the offense in Bobby Slowick just took so long. I know I'm going to get shot. I'm still going to get shots at all. You got a long time to next season starts, brother. But the offense, and specifically Bobby Slowick, was just so slow to adjust to everything. I mean, how far into the season was it before they seemed to have a handle on the twists and stunts that got pressure like that off the snap, the entire way? I remember in the Cowboys game, just a complete lack of situational awareness. I remember they were going in, it was like the last play of the third quarter. They were up, I think 7 or maybe even 2 scores at the time. And they're running hurry up and passing the ball instead of just letting the rest of the quarter run out. And then we see the trick plays, like in the playoff game against the Chargers, when the few negative plays they had was when they tried a halfback pass to Mixon, and Mixon had to pull up and ends up fumbling it. And there's obviously more examples we can talk about and bring up if we had time to think about it. But it just feels like Bobby was just, there was not only no progress, but he was just way too slow. Oh, the Chiefs game, when they in the second one in the playoff game, how many times in a row did they have to have their tight end get beat by a Chiefs pass rusher on the edge before they decided to not have the tight ends lined up solo on a defensive end? It was, I think, at least three sacks in a relatively short amount of time before Bobby Slowick adjusted and stopped trying to block. I'm forgetting the
Karlaftis.
Yeah, Karlaftis. Before they stopped trying to put Dalton Schultz on, or Karlaftis. So look, Bobby Slowick obviously had a great first year and deserves credit for helping CJ develop, but CJ took a step back and he was just way too slow to adjust to things.
Yeah, I mean, like going back to what I said, like I'm not surprised that they got rid of Sloak, but like I can see Charles's point of it's only been 2 years, and like we see this a lot of times in the league. Like it's hard for quarterbacks to develop any consistency when every other year you're getting like a new OC. So like I can allude to the Chargers. Herbert has had what 4 different offensive coordinators in his 5 or 6 years of playing. Like it's
Right.
hard to like develop when every year it's going to be a new guy and possibly a new system. And then also, I get the point of view if you wanted to argue, well, this team was beat up like offensively. Oh, line was beat up. They lost their receivers. But and also saying that it is up to the OC to be able to adjust to injuries, um, and be able to like move forward even when your team is depleted. But we didn't see the Texans offense get any better at all. Like I get 2 or 3 weeks struggling with injuries, and then you start to turn things around. But they were at one plateau position the entire time, and so that's why I'm not surprised. But if they had brought Slowick back for the third year's the charm, I wouldn't have been surprised either. So
Yeah, I wouldn't have been shocked by it. So I mean, look, I get, again, like you said there, Cam, and I thought you put it well. Like I get Charles's reaction. Like it's tough to say a guy who was a part of offense that wins 10 games, a division and a playoff game back-to-back years deserves to be run out. But when you've invested that much in the offense, oh, we have another run-in.
What?
Who? Sean, do you know who this, Cam?
How could I know this?
I don't know. Like who's coming out?
Jiminy Crickets.
All right, let's go out to HRP list line. Who do we have on the line right now?
It is I, none other than the Coachy.
The Coachy. Coachy, you've called in before, the Coachy. Welcome in. You have a Royal Rumble pick for us?
Not only do I have a prediction, my friend, I have a spoiler for you.
Okay, Paul Heyman. Settle down, Paul Heyman. Is this Paul? Wait, I thought this was the Coachy. Is this Paul Heyman? Ladies and gentlemen, are you going to hit us with that at some point?
I do advocate a lot, mostly the Golden Corral, but I do love to advocate.
Mostly for their chocolate fountain. But yes, what do you got for us, Coachy?
Okay. The spoiler is Cody Rhodes versus KO. Cody Rhodes wins, right?
Yeah.
Got to go to WrestleMania. Don't know who he's going to take on because the winner of the men's Royal Rumble will be none other than the man who will get to main event WrestleMania for the first time, the voice of the voiceless, Mr. CM Punk.
That's two. We've had 2 people call in. Both pick CM Punk as the Royal Rumble winner. All right. I like it. What about on the women's side?
For the women's Royal Rumble, the Coachy is spoiling the fact that it is going to be none other than a returning Jade Cargill.
Ooh,
that's going to be my
heard
long
that
shot
one.
spoiler.
Okay, I like that, the Coachy. That's interesting. I wasn't sure if she was healthy or not. Our previous run-in picked Charlotte Flair, who's also returning from a long absence, even longer than Jade Cargill. Interesting.
You know what? I've just been hit by brilliance.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna change my pick there, McMahon.
Oh, okay. Whoa. All right. A little Jerry Lawler moment here. What's going on?
I've been saying for the longest time, everybody knows me. Everybody has said it, that I am a big AJ Lee guy. Everybody has said there's no bigger AJ Lee fan than me.
People have said that.
AJ Lee is returning, and AJ Lee is winning.
Wow. Okay. AJ Lee, the wife of Phil Brooks, a.k.a. CM Punk, is winning the Royal Rumble. That is interesting.
Yeah, I can see the storyline writes itself.
It's going to be a Brooks event tonight. Phil Brooks and AJ Brooks. Well, he's fantastic, whatever. But still, either way, they're going to win. Okay? That's what's going to happen. That is the spoiler for you.
Well, thank you, Coachy. Where are you going to be watching the show tonight? Is Golden Corral airing it? Do they have TVs up there at your local Golden Corral?
Literally with my mouth right under the chocolate fountain.
You are a health code violation waiting to happen, Coachy.
Oh, and I am also going to predict that none other than Mr. R-Truth will enter the Women's Royal Rumble again and make it to the top 4.
Well, I think he did that last year. Am I right, Coach? I think R-Truth did that gimmick last year, but I would certainly welcome him. He is always a great bright spot, a comedy relief, if you will.
He did, but this year he will make the top 4.
Wow. Okay, so he's throwing women over the top. I don't know if that's a Me Too violation there. R-Truth going in the Rumble and throwing all the women out.
It's going to be quite a sight to see. The Royal Rumble is a time when any possibility can happen, sir.
Oh, you have any other predictions for us before, or sorry, any more spoilers for us before you get out, Coachy?
Any more spoilers for you? Yes, I do have another spoiler. I'm changing my pick yet again.
Oh my God! All right. Who's winning the Rumble now?
It's going to be none other than the Queen herself, because Becky Lynch is on the shelf. It's going to be Charlotte Flair.
There we go. Okay. All right. So our third different
because
pick now.
Somehow,
if we
Charlotte
give him enough
Flair
time, he'll just pick everyone who's in the Rumble.
Can I do that?
Yeah, I mean,
I think we'd run out of time.
I think we
yeah.
might run out of time before the segment's over. But I hate to even ask.
I still haven't even gotten to my pick of Nia Jax yet.
Okay, hang up on him. If you're going to say Nia Jax, okay, John, hang up on him. We cannot let someone come on these airwaves and pick Nia Jax to win the Royal Rumble. That is no. I'm not going to stand for that.
I'm not picking her to win. I'm picking her to injure somebody.
Oh, okay. Oh, see, now that tracks. That would be that would fit with her MO and what's happened in the past. I hate to ask this because we're up against it, but do you have any more spoilers for us?
I do not have any more spoilers for you. That is my time, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, I am the coachy, and my cholesterol is higher than yours, and you know it.
All right. Well, thank you, the coachy. That was a little wrong company there. He went with an MJF line there from AEW. Which, by the way, before we go out, I said, Sean, we got to talk about this. We got to be quick, but we got to talk about this. Because the Costco guys had been Team AEW. They wrestled at Full Gear. They've been doing the videos. They had them bragging about the coaching hire of Liam Cohen at
five big booms for
Liam Cohen.
I think RJ agrees.
And now there's a picture of them holding the WWE title. I mean, I don't know, is love real anymore? I mean, I feel bamboozled. What's your take on this?
You know, these guys.
I think you know somebody.
You think you know somebody. Maybe this is just to build a little heat for the next time AJ steps in an AEW ring. I don't know.
Now he's the outsider.
Exactly. He's going up against corporate now.
He can be the NWO in this situation.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I like this. Cam, you have any thoughts? Sorry, Cam. This is gonna be a rough show. There's gonna be a lot of wrestling today, buddy.
I agree with everything that you two have said.
Okay. Cam abstains. All right. We got to get out. We're way past the break. On the other side, I don't know, maybe some NFL, maybe some Astros or Rockets. We'll find out what it is when we get back in 3 minutes. ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
Broadcasting live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
I don't even know I didn't even hear Cam's joke that you high-fived him over because the music was in my ear. But we were talking about Jerry Jones during the break and breaking down maybe if he wasn't the most prudy owner in the NFL, who was, and then it got to Mark Davis, and then there was a joke I missed on a high five.
That's all right.
We'll hear.
It can stay off air.
Yeah, it probably should. That's a good call. We're not Radio Hall of Famers yet, so I don't think yet we will be. But we're not yet, so I don't think we can get away with that. But anyway, so you'll hear from Jerry Jones, not this segment, but you'll hear from him in the final segment. So, yeah, that is just a classic and the gift that keeps on giving. Right now, to finish up hour one, again, we will have some more Royal Rumble run-ins before the show's over. Mount Rushmore +1 at 1:30. And, of course, we'll finish the show with what we loved and our worst people in sports in the final segment. But right now, let's talk some Rockets. Disappointing loss against Memphis. Not in that they lost on the road against Memphis, because you lose on the road against the number 3 team in the conference, a team that trails you or at the time, I think by a game and a half in the division. Certainly no shame about that, but the way they lost, they should have taken like a 7-8 point lead into the fourth quarter, and I forget who it was, hit like a miracle fadeaway 3-pointer to bring it a little bit closer going to the fourth. They go on more runs early in the fourth quarter, and then I think the part that just kind of broke my will or my spirit was that Fred VanVleet fadeaway 3-pointer off the inbounds, which I think they tried to get to amend, but the Grizzlies played it well. And I guess the plan B was Fred VanVleet fadeaway trying to shoot over Jaren Jackson, but which not a great idea. But what did you guys think about the finish overall in that game?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit what we've seen. I mean, really the last 4 or 5 games of the little mini gauntlet that the Rockets had against the Cavs and against the Celtics. Those 3 games, and then this outside the gauntlet is the game against Atlanta too.
Oh, we got this one I don't even know about. This is actually a complete surprise to me. This is a true run-in. All right, let's go out to the HRP listener line. Who we got on the HRP? Who we got?
It's Branham.
Oh, Branham! J-Bone. I think as a wrestling character, you have to be J-Bone. You can't be Jeremy Branham. But J-Bone, you got a Royal Rumble pick for us?
Give me Seth Rollins. Anybody pick him yet?
No. We've had 2 people call in, and both picked CM Punk.
That's freaking Rollins.
Give me Rollins.
Jeremy's a fan of the Architect. He is the Monday Night Messiah.
I wouldn't say I'm a fan.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
I think he's gonna win.
Yeah, you know what? That's on me. I assumed that's on me. All right, so Seth Rollins to win the men's Royal Rumble. What about your pick for the women's, and then KO versus Cody, Jeremy?
I'll go Charlotte Flair. The Queen wins the women's Rumble, and then Cody. Kevin Owens winning that match. You kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, we can't have a Canadian win the Royal Rumble or win the world title.
No,
this is America, baby. The American Nightmare got to retain that title, take it to WrestleMania in Vegas. Come on. Yeah, I Charlotte Flair was my pick too, Jeremy. I don't think fans are going to react well to that, but I think we're going to get the coronation of I think she's got 13 world championship at this point. They're probably going to have her pass her dad's record of 16 at some point, but yeah, that's probably going to be what's happened. The last time Charlotte won the Royal Rumble was actually here in Houston at Minute Maid Park in 2020. For the world shut down. You remember, Sean.
Yeah,
you remember.
Look at that knowledge flex. Knowledge flex by B-Mac.
I know. He's like the Tim Kirchin of wrestling.
Yeah. Right here we got. No, I can't do the Tim Kirchin voice. All right, Jeremy, any more predictions for us? Or you're going to run on out and call your 5,000th Cougar game of the day?
No, I'm going to run on out. Yeah, Houston, Texas Tech. Go Cougs.
All right.
Go Cougs.
Thank you, Jeremy. Jeremy Branham joined us here on the H. Thank you, Cam. I like the little Cougar crowd there.
Thank you.
No?
I've been working on it.
I was throwing in the Paul Gallant. Yes. Yeah. No?
Huzzah!
Yeah, huzzah! Our beloved Cougs. But thank you for Jeremy. Oh, we got another one. My God. I thought this was supposed to be spaced 2 minutes apart. Who's running this clock? Jeez.
That might have been.
All right. Who we got now on the HRMP listener line with their Royal Rumble pick?
It's Coachy again.
Oh my God! Coach, what? He got to enter the Rumble again? What is this, Curtis
Yeah,
Axel?
I'm re-entering. I'm like the three faces of Foley, man. I'm re-entering
all right.
the Rumble.
So is this Cactus Jack, Dude Lover, Mankind? I don't know who we got on, but Coachy, what do you got for us? You got more spoilers?
Man, it's really hard to find to follow the charismatic enigma that is Jeremy Branham there. This is J-Bone. Yeah, Seth Rollins. Yeah, he's going to do great. Cool.
Okay.
I'm predicting.
Across the bow.
I'm predicting. KO's going to lose tonight against Cody and then enter the Rumble and win the Royal Rumble thanks to Sami Zayn.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay. So now we're up to 3 women's choices he's picked and 2 on the men's side. The coaching's really scratching off everyone on the list.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's a spoiler. You're welcome.
He's definitely gonna have the winner. He's gonna have audio of him picking the winner.
I'm gonna be really disappointed if the coachy goes 0 for 5 with this. Like he's got 5 entrants in the Royal Rumble.
It's
one
like
of them has to hit.
Someone playing 10 different bingo squares,
and they all miss. Yeah, that would be truly devastating if that hit. All right, well, thank you, Coach.
I like to go. See, I also like to go to Vegas and play the roulette. Just put all of the chips on the corners. Never pick one number, but pick a bunch of corners so that way I have it all covered.
I don't know if that's a sound gambling decision. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.com or org. I forget.
What if you have a chocolate fountain Golden Corral problem?
Well, that might be a different. That might be a different 1-800 number. Yeah, I think that's.
No, you actually just call Kevin, the general manager. I got his number on speed dial.
Oh, okay. All right. Get the coachy out of here. All right. Thank you, coachy, for picking yet another entrant in the Royal Rumble. So, oh my God. Okay. See, these are. Is someone timing these? Are we sure they're 2 minutes apart? I don't know what's going on here, but we got another entrant into the Royal Rumble. Someone else making a pick on the HRP listen line. Welcome in on the HRP list line. Who we got? Hello. What the hell? What?
Very Mysterio.
I'm trying to remember whose theme that is.
It doesn't help that it's
so
hard to hear.
It's so hard to hear. All right, come on. Who do we got on the HRP listener line? Okay, you're gonna have to.
I guess they just wanted to play the theme song. They didn't want to give any information. I guess.
Okay, I guess that was their pick. I didn't recognize. That sounded like someone from ECW, but I couldn't recognize the theme song. Well, this has really gone off the rails. There's been more run-ins than I expected. I had planned some of them because I got to book this stuff, but man, this has gone off the rails. So Rockets.
Don't you mean gone off the ropes?
See, look at Cam. Look at the big brain on Cam. All right. Look at sports entertainment Smith over here.
Ha! Psych. I've always known about wrestling.
Wow, that was an amazing long con. I'm not sure what the payoff there was for you, but that was
that joke. Right there.
He's been planning it for months.
Years.
Years. So
Rockets.
Yeah, so we were talking about the Rockets and the closeout of the Grizzlies game. I mean, I guess the question is, and I guess we do have to factor in that Alperen Sengun wasn't available, so maybe he's the answer in these situations. But I think one of the questions that Rockets fans are asking themselves, despite obviously a season that's been better than we expected, is who's the closer? Because we've seen even in games, these impressive wins against Cleveland and Boston, we've seen them go into the fourth quarter and go through long stretches in the fourth where they give leads back and make it close at the end. It's obviously happened again in Memphis, and they lost this time, unlike in Cleveland and against Boston. But I mean, maybe the answer is Sengun, and Sengun just wasn't there. But who would you say is their best option as like a closer down the stretch?
I think playing through Sengun is what they have done in the past. I think that's the best answer going forward, because with Sengun, you can throw it to him and he can also facilitate from the low post or the high post. You can run 2-man game stuff with him and Van Vliet, him and Thompson, or have Thompson as a cutter off of a post up from Sengun. So I think Sengun is the answer. That's part of the reason why the Grizz game wasn't too big of a deal for me, because the extenuating circumstances and just the fact that you play enough close games, you're just going to have a close game that you lose. Like, that's just what's going to happen. So I think that as Amin Thompson continues to develop, I think maybe long-term Thompson or Green are definitely the perimeter options in more of a situation like 2 nights ago where it's a 5-second, you kind of have to get the ball to someone and they have to make something happen. I think that's long-term going to be either Thompson or Green, but in the short term, playing through Şengün is what makes most sense late.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think it's Şengün, and then I think Green. I mean, I'm not upset if Fran VanVleet gets the last shot of a game, but I'm not going to say that
The
he's
shot itself was
Yeah, it has to be a
I mean,
situation
regardless
like
if it went
Thursday.
in. It was just a horrible
Yeah,
shot.
I feel like he could have made one more move and got Jackson to bite, and then could have taken a mid-range shot. But it is what it is. And at the same time, the Rockets have played a lot of great teams and a lot of games. They've played a lot like the last 2 weeks, and I would be, I guess, like disappointed or nervous if we've seen the Rockets do this to a lot of really good teams, but they have an incredible record against teams in the playoffs. Something like 14-4.
Yeah,
So,
I saw their record
fellow
against
playoff
teams
Yeah.
above 500.
They're
It was
not gonna-
it was quite good.
they're not going to win all of them. They were still in this game without Şengün and Cam Whitmore. It's just one of those games where it just didn't go their way.
I mean, Cam was playing. He just went one.
Was he back?
Yeah, he played. He
I
made.
know
Like,
he was out with the flu or something.
he was in the game. It was, you know how it goes with Cam. Like, he takes a shot, Udoka doesn't like, and he gets pulled and pouts, and that's kind of what we see. I mean, and then randomly he goes for 15 points, but that's kind of the life we've lived with Cam right now until he matures a little bit. All right, we got to get out on the other side of the break. We may talk some NFL, we may talk some Astros, maybe more Royal Rumble winners. We'll find out when we get back. ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5.
Broadcasting live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back in ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. It is the Bullpen with Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, Sean Mapes, and our man John Belmer behind the glass, and all of you guys with your Royal Rumble run-ins. And we even had a call on what we thought was the Jaguars head coaching hire, but turned out to be about the Texans OC. So thank you for joining us. And if you'd like to call in as well, you could call or text the HRMP listener line again, 713-780-3776. So let's talk some Astros right now for as long as we can, unless we have another run in. But look, it's been an interesting few weeks for the Astros because we thought the Alex Bregman thing was over when they one traded for Isaac Paredes as a part of the Kyle Tucker deal, and then signed Christian Walker, formerly of the Diamondbacks, to play first base. It looks like, well, Bregman's got no place to play. But suddenly, everyone in the Astros organization and every beat writer, especially Bob Nightingale, who seems to be the voice of Astros front office, have let us know that the door is still cracked open. Alex Bregman still might come back. I mean, it's kind of a mess when you look at the situation of if he comes back, it means Jose Altuve with his plus arm and his great length to be able to leap up and catch balls at the wall is going to be moved out to the outfield. But what is your overall feel for this situation? One, the idea of paying Bregman this close to the competitive balance tax to bring him back, and B, move Jose Altuve to a position he's certainly not really made for.
I mean, you got to give the Astros credit for creativity.
Yeah, sure, that's one way to put it.
And makes our job easy. Makes our job.
They are team content. I will give the Astros that because the baseball offseason is way too long, and a lot of times there's nothing to talk about for months. And then team content comes through, and
they're just like, "Hey, what if we put the greatest Astro of all time at a different position when he's 35 years old?"
You know this guy that's 5'5" and has a noodle arm? Outfield.
Okay, so people keep bringing up the height with him playing the outfield. I don't understand how like the height
really plays at the wall. I mean, I
no one makes plays at the wall.
I get it. Well, no, sure, but they're going to play 81 games on the road.
Are they?
Hopefully playoffs.
No, I don't think they.
You know, they're going to play.
But it's not just plays at the wall. It's those outfield hits where you're going to have to turn and run with your back towards home plate, and you're going to have to stretch out
and reach up and get it. Yeah,
and run left and right too, and dive for the ball. I mean,
and as somebody who is short and played outfield, I can tell you that being tall is definitely beneficial playing in the outfield.
Being tall is more beneficial to play any sport, really, other than being a jockey.
Necessarily advantageous to his current position, second base. I don't think there's necessarily an advantage of being tall there, but I would say, like, if you look at most outfield, like if you look at just the average outfielder across Major League Baseball, there's not a lot of guys under 6 feet.
Yeah, they're probably
much less Jose Altuve's height.
Yeah, and it's a different. The ball is coming at you differently in the outfield than it is in second base, and it's like people allude to, oh, well, Craig Biggio switched from second base to the outfield. Well, Craig Biggio also had a better arm and was a little taller, and it's not like that. It's not like Craig Biggio was a great outfielder. No. It just Jeff Kent at the time was a phenomenal.
And then later
second.
Carlos Beltran. Yeah.
So my thing is why would we even move Altuve? If you're gonna experiment with anybody, why wouldn't it just be Paredes? Paredes is younger. I don't understand why we would have to move Altuve. Hey, like you said, arguably the greatest player in Astros history, the best second baseman, arguably. Like, why would you, at the end of his career, move him?
No, I'm with you, but I could tell you what the other side. Sorry,
I was
going to
say, I think the reasoning is that if you're going to have a below average glove in the outfield, have a good glove at second base instead of having Altuve, who's slipping as a glove and is arguably pretty bad in the field at second. And also having a bad left fielder, just have a bad left fielder and a good second baseman, or at least a decent one in Paredes. Because I don't think Paredes is going to be a Gold Glover there at second.
No,
true, but I get that. Like, I completely get that. But then my thing is, okay, but then our outfield is going to be Jake Myers, McCormick, and Jose Altuve. Like,
it's going to be the worst outfield in the American League. I mean, really, this is regardless. Like, even if Jose Altuve stays at second base, we got another run in. I'm sorry, we can't talk about Jose Altuve. It's not Chas McCormick coming out right now. It's not Jake Myers. Who do we have right now on the HRMP listener line?
Hello, this is Joe George here, and I'd like to take a moment here to say that I'm taking a knee against the slandering of short people that's happening on this show right now. This is walking me into a trap, and because of that, I'm going to change my Royal Rumble pick, and I'm going to stand as tall as I can for people like me and Cam Smith. You know what? Screw it. I'm taking Mr. 619 Rey Mysterio to win the Royal Rumble.
Rey Mysterio. Joe, are you taller than Rey Mysterio?
Actually, I don't know the answer to that question. I think it's pretty close. I don't think it's that much of a difference, to be honest.
Well, he once took down. I think he beat Big Show, right? Sean knows. He's sports entertainment. Sean. Why am I even asking Sean? I mean, Sean can just tell me. All right, so Rey Mysterio is Joe's pick for the men's Royal Rumble winner. Joe, you got picks for the women's Rumble and Cody versus KO?
Taking Cody versus KO for sure. Women's Rumble, I think it's going to be Charlotte, which kind of bums me out, but I think Charlotte's going to win it tonight for sure.
Those are popular picks. Charlotte, I think, has been our most picked so far, the women's, and then I think everyone.
Yeah, I was going to say no. Cody Rhodes is by far.
Everyone's picked Cody except for when Kochi called back in, and then also picked KO. But he had at first picked Cody, and then called back in, and then picked KO.
Him.
Yes.
He's 5'6".
Rey Mysterio's 5'6".
Yes.
Oh wow, that is close.
Sports.
Then we're the exact same height.
Yeah, they were the same height.
Same height. All right. So Joe, Joe, are you going to enter the Royal Rumble if Rey Mysterio can win it?
I mean, if Tyrese Halliburton's going to try to be in it tonight, which I know he's not actually going to be, like, why can't I? Why can't I be in it?
He's actually calling from the airport, about to get on his plane to Indianapolis.
Me and Chip Kelly, we're at George Bush Airport right now.
Yeah, you and Chip Kelly have both been spotted at the airport.
We got flight trackers for Royal Rumble entrances. We have. We do that for SEC coaching hires. We need to have the flight tracker
with Joe George and
George,
Chip Kelly.
And Chip Kelly and Tyrese Halliburton. Yes, they're all in the same class. Yeah. All right, Joe, any more predictions or spoilers for us before we let you go?
The only thing I'm really excited for tonight is I think we're going to get CM Punk in the ring one-on-one with AJ Styles if he's back and healthy tonight. And that just makes me very, very excited because I love both those guys a ton. So seeing them face off would be awesome. That's the only thing I'm like hoping for tonight. Oh, and Jeff Hardy will be there.
Oh, you think so?
I'll call my shot. This new TNA WWE. I think Hardy gets an appearance.
Not to get too far into the weeds, but it seems like every time we get excited about a Jeff Hardy return, he then gets pulled over for DUI.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true, Brian. That's very accurate, Brian.
So shout out to Indianapolis police tonight. Please watch out. Please watch out for Jeff Hardy on the streets. Yeah. You want to get your name in the paper. Go ahead and look for Jeff Hardy pulling away from Lucas Oil Field or wherever the hell they call it now. It's not the RCA Dome, right? I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your name is to quote The Rock. Well, does that make me too old quoting the RCA Dome?
Hasn't been the RCA Dome in like
I don't know.
years.
I said Lucas Oil Field first. Come on, give me some credit. All right, thank you to Joe George, one half of Gallant and George, for calling in. So we were talking Astros and Alex Bregman. We don't have time to get into the Chandler Rome audio here in the 1 minute we have left in this segment. But I think the other side, you guys were, I think, talking about it briefly before Joe called in and did his run-in. But I think the argument in support of putting Altuve in the outfield is he's, by some metrics, the worst defensive second baseman in the American League, maybe in Major League Baseball. He's certainly bottom 5. And he's going to be a bad left fielder as well. So he's going to be bad regardless of where you put him, especially at this age. He's now in his mid-30s. So the thinking is, especially on a staff where you have Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez, two heavy ground ball pitchers, would you rather have a terrible defensive second baseman or a terrible defensive left fielder, and that you can hide his bad defense more in left field than you can hide him at second base?
Yeah, no, that reasoning is sound to me. I think that it's definitely on the table. And Chandler mentioned when he was on Gallant George yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yesterday, he mentioned that he fully expects that Jose Altuve, it might not be this year, it won't be full time this year, but he won't end his career playing second base for the Astros. He'll play a different position at some point in his career.
And we might see him be the DH a lot this year.
And that's the problem, really, because if you want to talk about, I don't even think the real issue here, it is an issue, but Jose Altuve's defense, the real issue is you have 2 DHs and you can only play 1. And so someone's going to have to be either a liability in the field, or in the case of Yordan Alvarez, a little bit better in the field, but now you're worried about him injuring himself. Yeah. So you're juggling. Do we want to put a bad fielder out there in Jose Altuve who's either bad at second base or out of position in left field, or do we want to put Yordan out in left field and risk him getting hurt? Because he seemingly always gets hurt.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with Yordan playing 50 games in left
Yeah,
field.
and he played like 53 last year.
I think so. We're really just trying to get like the other 100.
Can we get 100 games of left field from Jose Altuve? That's kind of the question.
Yeah, maybe like 80 from Altuve and then 20 from, days off and spin the wheel.
Or insert
Trammell.
Yeah,
Trammell, sir. Thank you.
Trammell.
I don't know.
Put some respect on that name.
I just like
of that guy
Trammell.
I only heard of like 3 days ago.
Taylor Trammell.
Sure. Yeah. I don't. Again, I'll quote The Rock. It doesn't matter what your name is. Okay. Alan Trammell.
It's not Alan.
Taylor.
Whatever.
Alan
I don't care.
You're thinking of you're thinking of the white Trammell.
God. I did it again. I'm so old. Even though, again, this has been well established. Sean and I, same generation.
Yeah, that's
all right.
how I knew.
No.
Was.
We're into the conversation there. Sean and I, same generation. Doesn't matter what you said, Sean. All right. Other side of the break, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Bit time for the big question. Maybe a run-in or two. We'll see what happens. ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Welcome back into the Bullpen. Brian McDonald, Sean Mapes, Cam Smith, our man Johnny Belmer behind the glass. And it's time for the big question. And this week, we're going to stick a little sports. I know usually these kind of go off the rails, maybe some would you rather. Sean gets in this. Oh my God, we have another run-in.
So it is going off.
It is going off the rails. Right on cue, it's going off the rails. We have a run-in. You know what? I'm going to step away from the gimmick because I actually know who this is and give this man the proper introduction. This is the voice of reality wrestling. One half of the Hall of Fame here, heard here on ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. He's a podcaster. He's an author, a TV host on CW39, and you can hear him along with six-time world champion Booker T on their ESPN Radio national version of the Hall of Fame tonight. I believe going, correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, from 9 to midnight right after the Royal Rumble. Welcome into the Bullpen, Brad Gilmore. How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, great to be here. Thanks for the invite, B-Mac. What a phenomenal intro. And yes, we're on tonight, ESPN National, which you can catch on 97.5 and, of course, 92.5 from 9 to midnight, talking about my favorite show of the year, the Royal Rumble.
Absolutely, my favorite show as well. So, Brad, before we get through, I'm gonna fanboy here a little bit and ask you if you could do a Macho Man impression, because the last time you joined us, you did one, and it is fantastic. And I'm wearing a Macho Man Randy Savage T-shirt right now, so That feels like I have to ask for that at some point. But who are your picks tonight for the men's and women's Royal Rumble in the KO versus Cody Rhodes match?
You always gotta expect the unexpected. Yeah. Yeah. The macho man is too hot to handle and too cold to hold on. Yeah. And tonight, at the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis, Indiana, you don't know who's gonna get the crown. You Hulk Hogan.
No, I don't know. You know what? I'm just really excited. I'm really excited for the Rumble because this year, VMAC, what's so exciting about it is I really don't know who's going to win. You know, in the last couple of weeks, last couple of days, really, there's been some smart money coming in on CM Punk. It looks like a lot of online chatter that he might be the guy, but then it's John Cena's last Royal Rumble. How do you not let John Cena win the Royal Rumble? But then there's other people like Roman Reigns. We're not even talking about Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the man, the OTC. How is he not involved in a WrestleMania main event? And then there's other surprises. Main event Jey Uso, LA Knight's in there. I just don't know what's going to happen. And that's what makes this year's Royal Rumble kind of one of the most exciting in recent memory.
Yeah, it feels like I could easily make a case for at least 10 people. I mean, 2 people you didn't even mention, like Seth Rollins. We've had someone else call into the show earlier, pick Seth Rollins. You can make a case for Drew McIntyre. There's probably at least 10. Maybe we could go even deeper down the rabbit hole of names that make a lot of sense. But let me run this because I've actually got my. I'll go ahead and give my pick now. I'm going to run this scenario by you, Brad. See what you think of this. See if this is something you'd be interested in seeing. But I think the winner tonight. And it initially was on the CM Punk thought. I do get the sense in that. But then I remembered back to War Games when CM Punk helped Roman Reigns defeat his cousins, the bootleg version of the Bloodline. And now CM Punk has this favor that's owed to him by Paul Heyman. So my thought is Cody retains the title against KO. I think everyone's picking that. So far in this show, everyone's picked that. And then you have Roman Reigns to win the Royal Rumble. Would be his second Royal Rumble win. So certainly that gets him in the conversation and all the accolades of the only guys to win the Royal Rumble twice. Shawn, Hulk, Steve, all those people. And you have the rematch, all the storyline with Cody helping Roman regain his footing and all that. I think that makes a lot of sense. And then CM Punk comes calling, turns in his favor with Paul Heyman. It makes it a triple threat for the WWE title. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns as the main event of WrestleMania.
That idea made me excited just hearing it. And I love that we can get a real payoff that's meaningful of this favor because they've really built up what that favor is and what it could be and what it could mean. How could you get any bigger than, cashing in for a main event spot at WrestleMania? And remember, last year, CM Punk was supposed to be in the main event of WrestleMania before he got hurt. When he got hurt at this very event, the Royal Rumble. I like that. The only question is this, and I think this is the question that looms large over this entire show going into WrestleMania 41, and that's what does The Rock have to do with everything? Is he going to wrestle? Is he not going to wrestle? And I think that that's going to complicate the card, right? If The Rock is involved, he's not going to be wrestling Gunther for the world title. Right. All due respect to Gunther, right? He's not going to be going after anybody but one of two men, Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns. So if they're signaling for Rock Roman at WrestleMania, no title on the line, which I think the match is big enough for there to not be a title, you can do that and still have CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, which I do think is a compelling match for a main event for WrestleMania. I also think on the other side, John Cena not winning is actually better than John Cena winning the Royal Rumble. He can go on, maybe win the Elimination Chamber, face Gunther at WrestleMania, and then lose there. So that finally, we just want to see him get that world title so bad for his entire run that he's here for this year. But, I like the idea of Roman winning the Royal Rumble. It's just The Rock is the only thing that puts a kind of just makes it more difficult to determine how this WrestleMania card's shaping up, especially when he came out on Netflix and seemingly was not the final boss and loved everybody and everyone was cool. I was like, are we not seeing him at WrestleMania? It's very confusing what's going on with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Well, he still found a way to mention Mama Rhodes in that promo on Netflix. And I harpen back to this. I think this was after last year's WrestleMania. It might have been the night after or sometime shortly after that. But Rock did come out and had a conversation with Cody. He was congratulatory. It wasn't completely in an adversarial role, but he did mention at some point, I don't remember the exact phrasing, so I'm paraphrasing, But he mentioned at some point we're going to have this conversation. We're going to run this back. There's going to be something between me and you, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be this year. And I think it probably ends up waiting. But you're right. I think where The Rock lands on the WrestleMania card certainly can shift, the entirety of what we see at the Royal Rumble.
Oh, it changes the whole thing. I mean, because if The Rock's involved, you're going to get him involved, and The Rock's not going to be in, the opening match of the show, or the middle of the match. He's going to be involved in a main event because that's the superstar that The Rock is, and that's where he should be. And then when you look at Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens, I really wanted to see Kevin Owens win that title at the Saturday night's main event and just have a short run, even if it's brief, with that Winged Eagle title into the Royal Rumble, have Cody win it back, and then we set up for WrestleMania, because it's kind of a travesty that Kevin Owens has not won a world championship now in 10 years in the WWE, when he's been like one of the, if not, top 5 most important performers to that show, especially from 2015 to 2020. I don't think that anyone was on such a massive run as he was. You even go back to the feud he had with Jericho. This guy wrestled Goldberg. He and Seth at the WrestleMania that no one attended at WrestleMania 36 had a phenomenal match where he went out there and took so many crazy bumps just for the talent, just for the love of the game and for the enjoyment of the fans. It shows what kind of talent he is. So, but going to this tonight, obviously Cody's got to win this match against Kevin Owens, and we'll see who his opponent's going to be, which is also cool. Is say CM Punk wins, we would assume that he would pick Cody, but I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. CM Punk Gunther actually sounds attractive to me too.
Yeah, it'd be a good match. Before, we've already seen the promos between. The promo between him and Cody ended Raw last week, so I would think almost everyone would assume it's going to be Cody. But there's no bad matches there when you're talking about Gunther being involved. Does Gunther ever have a bad match? So
no.
I would not be disappointed if that's the case. All right, we again, this is the voice of we're talking right now with Brad Gilmore, voice of Reality of Wrestling, one half of the Hall of Fame, along with 6-time world champion Booker T. And you can hear him tonight, 9 p.m. to midnight on these very airwaves as they bring the Hall of Fame to the ESPN national side of things, again from 9 to midnight. Brad, what's the next Reality of Wrestling show? Promote what you guys got going on next.
Oh, of course, yeah. February the 8th, a week from tonight, we'll have our next big Reality Wrestling show. It's the fallout of what happened after our last show, which saw Zilla Fatu versus Booker T himself in Street Justice. You can watch that match on the Reality Wrestling YouTube channel right now. We will see the fallout from that. We have our own version of the Royal Rumble coming up in March, which we call the Last Stand Rumble. Who's going to pop up in that? You never know. We just had a video go up yesterday on Maven's channel. Maven, who was the Tough Enough winner, WWE Superstar. Maven actually was in our Rumble last year, and he did a really great video kind of recapping his final time in the ring. The last stand was the Maven's last stand at Reality of Wrestling. So definitely, if y'all are anywhere in the area, come check us out. Walker Texas Lawyer Arena over there off MLF Lowry Expressway in Texas City, Texas. Limited tickets still available at realitywrestling.com. But we're going to see what's going to happen with Zilla Fatu, Booker T, and our champion Gaspar Hernandez. We'll have to find out.
I got to ask now, Brad. Your Rumble's coming up. We've seen the voice of WWE, Michael Cole, jump in the Royal Rumble. Is there any chance we can get you in a singlet and jump in the Rumble?
So I will tell you this, the 2023 Last Stand Rumble at Reality Wrestling, you can find it on YouTube. I did make a brief entry.
Okay,
how'd you do? I'll text it to you, B-Mac.
Okay,
Well,
please do.
I did great, as far as I would consider. I didn't win the whole damn thing, but you know what? It was memorable, and it made the fans feel something. And guess what? The next morning, I felt something as well. but it was fun, and you know what? I think one and done is good for me.
All right, again, that is the voice of Brad Gilmore, half of the Hall of Fame. You can hear weekdays here on ESPN Radio alongside 6-time world champion Booker T. And again, you can hear the Hall of Fame tonight, ESPN National, on these very airwaves from 9 to midnight following the Royal Rumble. Thanks for joining us, Brad.
B-Mac, you're the best, brother. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, see, I would have Brad on just to do the Macho Man Randy Savage voice. Cream of the crop. Oh, yeah. All right. ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. When we get back on the other side of the break, it is time on the Bullpen for Mount Rushmore +1. Don't go anywhere. Welcome in, Houston, to the best part of your weekend. Welcome into Mount Rushmore Plus One, the award-winning, groundbreaking, sports radio landscape-changing segment that'll someday get the four of us in the Texas Radio Hall of Fame, and it won't take 27 years like those bums from the bench.
26 at the most.
26 at the most. Yeah, maybe 26 and a half. But we will beat the record of taking 27 years to get in the Hall of Fame.
We're like
Come on.
2.
I mean, jeez. I mean, we're already on the fast track. I mean, what do they get
like
on the
Mahomes.
fast? I know. See, that's exactly.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. You get it. All right, it is time for Mount Rushmore Plus One. I guess I'll go ahead and lead off because it's I mean, you can guess. It's Royal Rumble related.
No.
And I know this is a shock to you. This is a surprise. And look, I went a little longer with Brad Gilmore, which is not a complaint, but than I originally planned. So I might as well just lead right into my own Royal Rumble thoughts here. This Mount Rushmore Plus One is a list of Royal Rumble things.
Okay.
Just things from the Royal Rumble that are weird or interesting, mildly interesting, probably in most cases, but just weird little things about the Royal Rumble. Yeah. One, we always get the announcers. Sean, you'll hear all of this tonight, by the way, because I know you'll be tuned in. 5 o'clock on Peacock. You'll always hear the announcers doing the Royal Rumble make a point to point out the unlikely alliances between a heel and a babyface who, it's every man for themselves in the Royal Rumble, but they come together to get that guy out.
Yeah.
So that we there's always that moment when Michael Cole or whoever has to mention the unlikely alliances that form in the Royal Rumble.
What do you think is going to be the most unlikely alliance? I guess by definition, if I'm having you pick what you think the unlikely,
that it's no longer unlikely. Yeah, I can't even name it because it's unlikely. Sean, you get it. The number 2, the weird entrance you get. Some of the ones that come to mind recently. This is like 2 years ago. Johnny Knoxville was in the Royal Rumble randomly.
Oh yeah,
way back in the day, like 2003. Drew Carey was in the Royal Rumble for some reason.
Tyrese Halliburton
could be in tonight, and this was not the Royal.
Tyrese Halliburton, it would be crazy if he was in the Royal Rumble tonight, considering that they're in the middle of their season. The Pacers are.
Yeah, I know, but you're right. The spot he did with Jalen Brunson last year was after their season ended. So yeah, I don't think he'll actually be in it. But there's always a few
God, it'd be so great.
It would be great if he and Jalen Brunson are both in there,
or they just get thrown over by the ropes, and all the Pacer fans like.
Is he okay? Is he okay? Did he sprain his ankle on the way down?
And then tomorrow, Tyrese Halliburton questionable.
That would be
the game against the Wizards.
That would be the best. No, but this was actually from like a WrestleMania Battle Royals. It's kind of the only difference between a Battle Royal and Royal Rumble is the Battle Royal that all start in the ring at once instead of being brought out. But Colin Jost and Michael Che were randomly in a WrestleMania Battle Royal. And so at one time, the biggest man in the ring, obviously, Shaq, was in a WrestleMania Battle Royal. So there's always some weird entrants in these things. Then speaking of Shaq, there's always the big guy spot. Yeah. There's always the spot where like, oh my God, here comes the 7-footer. How could you possibly throw him over the ropes?
Who could possibly do it?
And then they never win. So there's
crazy.
There's always some 7-footer that comes in the ring. Like everyone's scared. They clear out. He throws out like 5 guys.
Yeah.
And then we get to a moment where he's in the middle of the ring, or she is in the middle of the ring, and everyone else stops, looks at them, rushes over, and they all team together to throw the big guy over the top ropes. The unlikely, yes. See, it all comes full circle. So that is always a nice Royal Rumble thing. 2 more. The never made it to the ring spot. Last time I remember seeing this, I think, was Curtis Axel, but there are a few times in Royal Rumble history where their music hits, they come out, and then someone attacks them, and they just get taken backstage, and they never actually make it to the ring. And then we get to have the fun angle of he was never eliminated, and they can run that storyline for a few months. And last one, this is the spot that probably you'll see the most tonight during the Royal Rumble is, okay, he went over the top ropes, but only 1 foot touched.
Yeah.
Only one. Or you can have the Kofi spots where he gets knocked off the ring apron, but he lands on a table or he lands on a chair and he like hops his way back to the ring. So those are my favorite Royal Rumble things of just weird spots in the match.
I like it. I like those. It's gonna be a nice drinking game for tonight of what happens.
Take a drink every time they mention unlikely alliances.
Yeah, from BMAC's list. Finish your drink.
You might be drunk before the match is over. Cam, what is your Mount Rushmore +1, sir?
My Mount Rushmore +1 is.
Is it Royal Rumble related?
Yeah. Nope.
Wow.
It is.
I thought he let me have it for a second. I'm like, wow.
I give you one second.
He heel turned. He patted me on the back, and then when I turned around, he hit me with a chair.
That's how we do it. So mine is the crazy things I've seen people sneak into the movie theater.
Oh, okay.
And some of these I would do myself, but
I've snuck in. I think the last thing I snuck into a movie theater, because most of these are food, right?
All of them but one.
Okay. The last thing I snuck into, and I used a hoodie to do it, I snuck in a Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit because it was still the morning time.
Yeah. That's simple. That's
it's easy.
That's
It was
easy.
John's dying.
It was still the morning. You saw a movie in the morning?
I know.
Yeah, the matinee time.
I know.
Back when matinee prices were like $5. Hell yeah. My mom would take me on
Wednesday. I know
Wednesday.
you guys realize what time Chick-fil-A cuts off sales, so you know this
10:30.
Yeah. So you're there at 11 to watch.
No, the movie was like 10:15.
Oh my god.
That is my favorite. Look,
watching Driving Miss Daisy.
I'm gonna out my. Okay, thank you, Sean. Again, same generation. I'm gonna out myself, but if I had my druthers, which maybe also a way to out myself for my age because I said the word druthers, but I would never, if I had my choice, I would never watch a movie with the start time past noon.
Noon?
At the theater.
Past noon?
If I had my own choice. If it was 100% up to me and not like.
You could have given me 10 guesses. I would have thought the number or the time.
Uh-huh.
I thought you were gonna say like 8 o'clock, and I was
no,
for that.
No.
12 o'clock.
Like really, once the movie starts past, oh god, we might as well just get into it now.
Yeah, no, I mean you're an old man. Cam, what's your list?
Oh yeah, that's right. Cam has a list. All right.
The first one, Popeyes.
Oh yeah.
Anything specifically, or like
I'm not exactly sure what they
box?
brought in, but from what I remember about the size of the box, it was probably like a 3-piece.
Yeah.
Oh, so these are things you saw brought in. Like, did you work at a movie theater when you were a teenager?
I used to go to movies a lot. And
okay.
A lot of times when I would go see my dad,
you started narking on people what they brought into.
Oh, I would never narc because I bring in stuff all the time.
Yeah, some of these are going to be things. I'm assuming things that you saw yourself bring.
Yes,
in.
these are all things I've seen myself.
Okay.
The next
I don't know how you could get the Popeyes box in without.
If you go with a girl and they have a purse.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or you wear a big jacket.
Yeah,
like
big jacket.
There's always ways.
Yeah,
all right.
You carry the jacket. You put the food in and carry the jacket.
Sir, why are you carrying your?
Or you act like you have a baby and you're just carrying.
That'd be tough for us to pull off. That'd be tough. That'd be tough.
Like an assassin in a movie.
You're carrying like a
what is pillow? Like,
you have
oh
a child.
God.
What is that thing called that you carry a baby in?
A stroller?
No, not that's what you push it in. What do you carry a baby?
The
in?
little carry.
Yeah, like the
like
little
a car seat thing, but like
the
little
handle.
Yeah, the little thing that goes around your.
No, you're literally carrying it. It's like a baby.
Oh, it's just a car. It's just like car seat, but you detach it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a carrier basically.
I've seen people well, I haven't seen it. I've seen it like on the news where people act like they have a baby in there and they just fill it with a bunch of stuff. But my next one is Ziploc bags full of pizza slices.
That is so bootleg.
Yeah. I was just curious if they brought blue cheese or ranch, to be honest. Because pizza slices is something pretty easy that you can like slide into the theater. The thing too is like a lot of these things you can smell. So you know
I was
it's
gonna
not
say, I was
theater
gonna say,
food.
like the part of the problem, like pizza, like sure, Ziploc bag, I think it could steal and carry okay. But I think it would have one of the stronger smells of like, okay, you're clearly carrying something.
But I think some theaters you can actually buy pizza slices.
Maybe
so it's
in.
kind of a good cover. But obviously the pizza slices are like $12 compared to
and
the
it's
dollars.
and it's just it's frozen pizza anyway.
Yeah,
so.
but they're not gonna kick you out just for smelling like pizza. Come on.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not.
Next one, and I might have partake in this one before. Yes, I have. Not this particular alcohol.
No.
But I have seen somebody bring in a full bottle of wine.
Yeah.
A full bottle. So not like unopened?
Yes.
Wow.
I will say
that's crazy.
And
see, the dangerous thing about sneaking that in, the way you would hold it almost would come off like you're carrying a weapon. It would seem like if you're kind of holding it in your jacket.
But again, no, it's in the purse.
Yeah.
They don't search.
How big is the purse that fits an entire bottle of wine?
Have you seen purses that girls have?
I guess my wife just doesn't. My wife doesn't have a purse big enough that would carry that, but maybe people carry.
You need to
bags.
step if you're sneaking food into the.
Yeah, apparently so. I need to up my
household.
game. I'm going Chick-fil-A sandwich. People bring in whole bottles of Dom Perignon or something.
Now, this is a little ratchet, so I might get some shade for this. When we were younger, we did bring 40s into the theater one time.
What, Mad Dog 2020?
Old
Splits?
English.
Old English?
How
Oh, my
dare
God.
you.
I thought I was gonna guess Colt 45.
OE.
Man, that's hard times, brother.
That was a great
That was
movie.
a great time.
That was a great movie.
I hope you graduated.
I did.
Okay,
What-
good.
What'd you watch with the 40s? Do you remember?
Couldn't remember.
Okay.
No, that's the
Yep,
correct
that'll
answer.
do it.
That's the correct answer, yes.
The next one, Chipotle, which
Yeah.
is so outrageous.
See,
because
that
you
would
can
probably have the
definitely
strongest smell that
Yeah.
would give you
Well,
away. Plus,
is
you
that
don't.
the end of your list?
No, I have one more.
Okay. Well, this is related. I've seen people. Some would say I've seen myself do it.
Oh.
I've looked down and saw the person who was doing it. Have snuck in. This is so on brand. Taco Bell into a
It's
movie
very
theater.
on brand.
That's one where after you undo all the wrapping, which by the way, so much louder.
So
in a movie
much louder.
theater.
Yeah, especially because I like when I did my Chick-fil-A biscuit, I was like, okay, I waited till the previews are over. So I started unraveling it like when the movie started. But the very beginning of most movies is quiet. Like there's
Yeah.
that kind of quiet part that's like all of a sudden, just like, oh,
Yeah, but
everyone heard that.
Yeah, and now you're having a 5-layer bean
But again,
burrito.
if you're seeing the movie at 10:15, no one else.
That's
is
why
there,
the Ziploc one is a good one because it doesn't make noise. Like
Yeah.
I get,
Yeah,
even
good
if I'm
call.
buying something there, I still get weird trying. Like if I buy like a pack of Twizzlers, I still feel weird trying to like open
Yeah.
and it not be like
not
loud.
be too loud. Okay.
The last one, and I could smell this one, the distinct smell.
Weed.
No. McDonald's hot and spices.
Man, that is. I feel that feels like a cry for help.
Which is about the only thing I'll actually eat from McDonald's.
Yeah, hot and spicy is not bad, but it kind of feels like a cry for help if you're sneaking
Yeah, 'cause
McDonald's.
Can
hot
you
and
imagine you're
spices
trying to
into
finish a
theater.
movie and like an hour later you're like, oh crap,
You look,
I got the hot and spicy bubble
you're
guts.
munching on your popcorn. You look to the left, someone's opened up a hot and spicy. Like what in the hell?
Do what you got to do.
My favorite part about sneaking in, because like John said, like they're not gonna throw you out
No.
for it. No one's ever been thrown out. Well, not
The
no one
employees there aren't paid enough to care to kick you
care.
out.
No, they're not.
But at the same time, you still are acting like you're trying to get something through TSA.
Yes.
While you're
like
doing,
you're trying to sneak world secrets.
Yeah.
Like,
and like you're eating it, like kind of like it's no one cares. The lights are off. Like we're all trying to watch
to be
Gladiator 2 now. All
you're
right.
trying to be covert.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you no need to it. All right, main event, mates. Main event, this bad boy.
All right, main event. My Mount Rushmore +1 this week, inspired by a T-shirt I saw earlier this week from one of my coworkers, Brian McDonald.
Okay. I remember what this is. Yeah,
he was wearing a shirt featuring two characters from
Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Fox's and NBC's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It was
Hitchcock and Scully.
Hitchcock and Scully. I was trying to think of their first names. I was like, I don't have it.
They don't have it. They don't have them.
And
actually, I know Scully's first name is Norm, but anyway.
And that got me thinking about my favorite police officers. And then I thought, I actually know police officers. So to make this list, I did my favorite movie and TV police officers for the Mount Rushmore +1, and from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's actually not Hitchcock and Scully. I mean, I could make this whole list just Brooklyn Nine-Nine characters.
Could, certainly.
But I'm going to give it to Jake Peralta of the Nine-Nine. Yeah, cop, heart of gold.
Heart of gold, diehard fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's certainly, I think I might have gone, I think my favorite from that show is actually Captain Holtz. But I have no problem with the pick overall.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. Andre Brower, yeah.
Next, another cop with the heart of gold. I'm assuming I haven't actually seen this movie yet, but I did see the ads for it when I was watching Texans Chargers on Nickelodeon. The funniest way to watch Justin Herbert throw 1 million interceptions is to watch it with SpongeBob and Patrick.
See him get slimed after the pick.
And during the commercial,
it's gonna be a long off season, Cam.
During one of the commercial breaks, this is one that made me jolt up on my couch. It just the ad for it starts with, "We sewed the body of a man a head of a dog to a body of a man."
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That's in theaters now.
Dog Man, who's a dog-headed police officer for some reason.
Yes, because why not?
And then I was like, wow, That's the craziest thing I ever saw. And then I saw Justin Herbert throw a pass straight to Kamari Lassiter for no reason. I was like, that's now the craziest thing I've ever seen. Sorry, Cam.
I love how that fits into what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, it was a natural transition. It could not be avoided.
In between every one of your picks, you have to stop and talk about one of the interceptions.
I could talk about a different interception, yeah, and not run out. Next, maybe this is recency bias. Maybe it's not. Big Nick O'Brien from Den of Thieves.
Okay, see, have you seen the new one?
Yes, seen it.
Is it pretty good?
It's awesome. I wouldn't say he does things by the book.
Well,
I wouldn't say
not.
I would say he's
that's a staple of those movies.
I wouldn't say he's a good police officer. I mean, he gets the job done, but I wouldn't say Internal Affairs loves him. But this is why it's not the best movie in TV Cops. It's my favorite movie in TV Cops, and that rolls right into Alonzo Harris from Training Day.
Oh yeah, King Kong ain't got nothing on him. Yep.
You're gonna be playing basketball at Pelican Bay. One of my favorite lines.
God, I love that movie.
Last but certainly not least, Vincent Hanna from Heat, because she's got a great ass.
Yeah,
and you got your head all the way up it.
Shout out to Al Pacino.
I just wanted to yell.
Say great ass. You just wanted to shout great
both
ass.
Both those lines. Show. I just wanted to yell both those lines into a microphone.
All right, how do we follow up Sean's shouting she's got a great ass? We'll follow that with the worst people in sports. Is Sean one of them? I don't know. ESPN Radio, 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. Welcome back into the final segment of the Bullpen today. A little programming note. We are on next week. No Aggies basketball interrupt us next week, but we'll be off the next 2 weeks after that because of Aggies basketball. Not being lazy, just Aggies basketball is on. So we will talk to you next week. But let's end the show right now, as we do every week, with our worst people in sports. Sean, who is your worst person in sports?
Worst person in sports, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones.
I feel like we should retire the number.
Yeah, he's up there with Paul Pierce.
Yeah, he's up there.
For making me snicker and acting like it's no big deal. Take it away, Jerry.
There's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes. Very low percentage.
I mean, what is he talking about?
How am I like? You just say that like it's a normal thing, Jerry. He's done this before, and like,
yes, he just says it like it's a saying that everyone says.
I don't understand how there wasn't snickering in the audio clip. Like, obviously, they have much more. Tim Calishaw and Ed Werder are much more mature than I am, but I would be like, what was that?
Jerry, can we come back for a second?
I think it can be.
How is the Brian Schottenheimer hiring not a glory hole?
I would only lead them to answer glory hole questions. Yeah, Jerry Jones, not worst person for hiring Brian Schottenheimer. Worst for, again, just saying glory hole. Like, I'm not supposed to laugh at.
Cam hadn't heard that yet. Did that live up to your expectations?
That was
Cam?
wonderful.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a first here on the Bullpen. Can we play that again? One more time, Johnny. Play that one more time. Run it back. My bad, Johnny.
Yeah, geez. That's why
there's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes. And glory holes.
I feel like
and glory holes.
Okay. All right.
All right, Johnny. Right. We got the remix. Thank you, Johnny. That was some pro work there. Well done. Jerry Jones is just so weird. All right. My worst person in sports this week comes from Monday Night Raw. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a wrestling show on tonight. Peacock, 5 o'clock, Royal Rumble. But Xavier Woods, he turned on Big E a few weeks ago. Everyone's now turning on him, including his own damn family. Monday Night Raw was in Atlanta, where Xavier Woods is from. He bought front row seats for his parents and his sister. And when the match started, his match against Rey Mysterio started on Monday Night Raw, they weren't even in the audience until what we hear in this clip.
And Woods is just glancing over at ringside. His family, I believe, has arrived. Father Alvin, his mother Angelita, his sister Amber, who's never seen Xavier.
Dad, where have y'all been?
Live, and little Yachty there as well. Oh my goodness. Little Yachty and Xavier Woods' parents have turned on Woods just like Kofi's mom did. What a moment.
So
Xavier Woods' family has turned on him because of his actions toward Big E.
So they don't show up for the start of the match. And when they do show up, what you don't see in the clip is they pull back their jacket to reveal they're wearing New Day Sucks t-shirts.
Yeah.
In his hometown, his family doesn't show up. And when they do, they're wearing New Day Sucks t-shirts. Worst person in sports, Xavier Woods' family. All right, Cam, what is your worst person in sports?
My worst person is Victor Slenderman Wimbyama for flopping 15 feet and then jumping up like he was actually going to go fight Zubik. Or whatever his dude's name is from the Clippers. Zubac. Yeah.
It's close enough.
That was just,
it doesn't matter what his name is.
He's so cheesy.
Yeah. The fake run in and then like you're going to start something and stop. Like that's where he lost me.
Yeah. Because he didn't even have anybody hold him back. He like
he didn't even do the
he stopped on his own and then somebody like grabbed him. And it's just like that was the fakest attempt to be a tough guy. It was
bad. So he shouldn't try to make a run at beef stew then, Sean.
Absolutely. Beef stew will crack him like a breadstick.
All right, we're done swimming with the anger sharks. Let's go ahead and doggy paddle over to Sea of Tranquility and talk about what we loved in sports. Sean, what did you love in sports this week?
This is not something from this week, but something I learned this week.
Close enough.
Amin Thompson's parents for naming both Amin and Asar Thompson with the same middle name. Do you know what this middle name is?
I do not.
It's XLNC, Excellency.
I did not know
it's
that.
in all caps.
So
too.
he's Amin Excellency Thompson.
Yes, but it's XLNC.
Man, that is, you know
it's
what?
Spelled
caps,
LX. Yeah, LXNC.
That all caps.
All caps.
That is high expectations you're
Like
putting
it's
on
an
your
app.
kid. Like your
Yeah.
name is Amend Excellency. And then you
And
go,
they nailed it.
Well, look,
They nailed it.
To their credit, they put the high expectations on the kid, and he delivered. So well done there. All right, my thing I love from sports this week, once again from Monday Night Raw, which again was in Atlanta, which means the WWE decided to put a bunch of famous rappers in the front row, and the whitest man alive, Michael Cole, had to announce all of them in attendance.
Little Yachty's here as well, the two-time Grammy Award-nominated rapper from right here in Atlanta, Georgia. His latest single is Doodleverse. Pat, how about my guy? Titty Boy! 2 Chainz is here! Also, Atlanta's own Quavo, the multi-platinum Atlanta rapper, songwriter, record producer. His latest single, What We Doin', is out and on the charts. It was so cool hanging out with those guys earlier today. I really wanted to get my picture with this fan, not Rey Mysterio, but one of the celebrities in attendance tonight. Lil Baby, Diamond Certified Grammy Award-winning rapper from right here in Atlanta. His latest album, When, debuted on the Billboard 200 chart. His new album, Dominique, will be released in February. And also, oh my God, Killer Mike is here. 4-time Grammy Award-winning rapper, actor, activist from right here in Atlanta.
I don't know if that tickled everyone else, but
It
something about the whitest man in America saying every rapper from Atlanta in the front row is hilarious.
I wish
to me.
we could also pull up the video of him trying to dap up Quavo.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Believe it or not,
my God.
Believe it or not, he didn't nail it. Cam.
If you haven't seen the video, Pat McAfee nails it. Like he tries to dap up Quavo as he passes by, nails it. Then Quavo reaches over to Michael Cole. It did not go well. He looks very, very white. Make sure you go and find that video. All right, Cam, quickly, what did you love from sports this week?
UH men's basketball comeback win against Kansas.
That was a pretty good big comeback. All right, for Cam Smith, for Sean Mapes, for John Belmer behind the glass, I am Brian McDonald. Thank you for joining us, Houston. Watch the Royal Rumble tonight. We'll be back next week. Have a great weekend, Houston.
Ha 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 ha.